Okay, so today we're talking about the discovery of the structure of DNA, and so really it's accredited to Watson and Crick. They discovered this double helix idea. I tried to make a drawing of it, but the drawings just kind of failed, and so I'll probably insert a picture over it right now. So that's right there. And so they really get the credit for it, but really it was kind of a combined effort of four people. So you had Franklin, and this was really Rosalind Franklin. And she did a lot of work with X-ray diffraction. And that allowed them to kind of look at the, and I'll describe what happens in that, and then Wilkins, he kind of helped her to, and he siphoned information of her pictures to Watson and Crick, who were able to put it together. And so they discovered the structure mainly by using models. And so I'm just going to kind of give a little narrative here on what happened. Watson and Crick, they first made a model where they had this they knew from Chargaff's rule, that's another dude that helped, so Chargaff. This guy came up with this rule, and that was that the bases A and T and C and G were always equal. So if we had 20% A's, then we knew we would have 20% T's, and that would mean that there's 30% G's and 30% C's. So these two nucleotide bases had to be equal in DNA. That was from Chargaff's rule. And they knew it had a sugar phosphate backbone, but they didn't know the exact shape of it. And so what Watson and Crick proposed first was that the bases were on the outside. And so if you can imagine like a stick, if this were the double strand here and all the nucleotide bases coming off of that. But Rosalind Franklin came and looked at their model and was like, no, this is inaccurate for all these reasons, and stated a bunch. And so that kind of got them down. And then Rosalind really took it off was her picture of photo 51. And I don't have a picture of it, but I'm going to draw kind of what it looked like. And it looked like a circle, and you had like a... It looked something like that. I'll put a picture of it over this. But basically you have this X, and the X doesn't look like much, but to someone who studies X-ray diffraction, that is a signal of a helical shape. And so basically in X-ray diffraction what's happening is Rosalind Franklin would shoot this particle of DNA with X-rays, and as the X-rays scattered, be able to look at that X-ray picture to know the shape and know the structure of it. And that's what we're looking for, the structure of DNA. And then, and what happened was, like, Watson, one of these two guys came in and actually sat in on one of her lectures about her photos. And from that, they were able to formulate, and this dude, Wilkins, would siphon pictures to Watson and Crick to be able to make their model. And then they built one with the helix on the outside, and the rest is history. They have that. They won a Nobel Prize for discovering the structure of DNA. Franklin never got one because she was dead at the time, most likely due from cancer. She died from cancer, most likely because she was working with the X-rays. And so it's kind of sad, but that's rough. It's a rough kind of overview of how DNA and the structure was discovered. Really, photo 51 was the main piece that allowed them to discover that it was the double helix on the outside and then rungs of the bases in between, and that's what made the DNA, and that's how it's shaped. And I hope that was helpful.